Uh, so, uh, like I said before, the routine of me and Steve. So when we hooked up, so like became friends, and so we start to eat together. So what we ate a lot was the pecan pie. I really loved it because I love the crunchy stuff and I love the nuts, walnuts, I think, and I couldn't just get enough. And and I was like, when they came, I had like horrible food. Even that one time Amy came to me and I was getting detainee food, you know, and then she came to me one time and she said, "Let me see what you got." And then she said, "You eat this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, yeah. What's wrong with this?" She said, "That's no one could eat this. This is horrible food." And then uh, I said, "I'm okay. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to eat what the detainees eat." And then to her credit, she decided that I'm. They have to change my food. Then the guard were allowed to go get me from the galley, or they call it the mess hall. I don't know why they call it the mess hall. It's a hall that is messy. I don't know. And or the chow hall. So three names I know them. They say chow hall, mess hall, the galley. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether those are very technical terms that only military people use. So anyway, so so I start to get like very much the same food as Steve, and so then we ate together. So what he ate the most, and I just followed suit, was this, I don't know, mac and cheese or mac and some type of macaroni with ground meat. And it's very practical because you can eat so much without noticing that you ate so much. And so we ate that, and then he brought this, or he sent Jean, because Jean was more like brazen in his like stealing abilities. He could steal much better than the rest of the guards, and because he felt a sense of entitlement, you know. He told me once that nothing could happen to him because his family is very powerful. I don't know whether he was just boasting or he was just lying. I don't know what he said. Because I told him, when he told me, you don't need to speak with your interrogators, and so they are trying to hurt you, and so. And he, uh, then I told him, aren't you afraid they gonna hurt you, and so if they know you're telling me this? He said, no, they can do nothing to me. He said, because his family is very powerful. He said that they have some military history or stuff like that. So and so so he was like very close friends to Steve. They just like brothers, you know. They do just like brothers. They fight when they're together, but they always want to be together. So I don't understand that dynamic, even though I a little bit understand it because happens to me also with other people. So that I really love and care about. So and so we sit down. So we have like Monopoly. So the guy, if I could say something, who plays Monopoly the best among us is is Jean, because Jean is really so cheap and so well like money making oriented that he told me like he saves every penny and he tries to spend nothing. Like, but at the end of the journey, He had like $83,000 saved on his account. Like that's a lot of money. He showed me. I think 83 and change. And as soon as he came, he saw me like playing with this very old like laptop that Amy gave me. It's like 1800. It was like Independence Day kind of. No, when the founding father of the U.S. Were writing the Constitution. إلى أجبار تحدم شبيه والله. and قلت له هو اسمه فال تسولو كان قد يطفقني اكسر بو حديده غير العاد قاسك لا يرجع لا تخليه يرجع. and yeah, astaghfirullah, what was I saying is that uh, is that what you're saying again, I'm saying again, it's that so, and what I was saying I forgot. So, and but also Steve taught me in Monopoly that the orange color is the best one because the property is just the right amount of price, and that's the purple I think and the orange, and because you can put so many properties and so, and that's it. So, and like I wanted like to play on friendly basis, like I want like a win-win, like everybody is happy, but that never works in Monopoly because it's like cutthroat. Someone has to lose and lose really bad. The game is so screwed up because the philosophy of the game that one guy is going to emerge like stinking rich and the rest dirt poor, and it's like evil capitalism, like the worst kind of capitalism, monopoly, hence the name Monopoly. And so they were angry with me, like I said. uh, Steve, not a lot, but one time he was angry with me. I told you about with the interrogators when I let them slide a little bit. But Jean was angry when I screw up my own game, because not because he wanted me to win, because I would screw his own game. But that was very amicable. All of it was very amicable, and so they come like 5:30, and then we start coffee because he stays up all night, almost all night long, and then we sit down, play card. Oh, he brought also this game called Risk. It's a military invasion game that he was really maybe the best at it. Like Stretch was the best at that game, and so the best in chess, I guess, was Jean, because I told him, how come you are so good at chess? He said because his grandpa taught him chess. And then whenever he played against his grandpa always beat him, and he never gave him a chance to win. So, because he wanted to learn the hard way, the American way, and stuff like that. And yeah, that's it. And yeah. And then astaghfirullah, what I was saying. And then yeah, over and over. And then I don't know this book about travel. this guy who traveled from Egypt through Africa, and then he brought me this book, and Amy allowed it, and because he always respected his decisions, so he had this book, where he writes everything what I do. Detainee does this. They call it the logbook, and I hated it, and everything is in past tense. Detainee slept. You cannot write, for instance, detainee is sleeping. You must always write 11:30, detainee slept. 12 a.m., detainee slept. So and so on and so forth. And detainee ate. I don't know. And then he took care of that. It was green. And his guard were very organized, like very clean, which is not a given because a lot of the guards are not clean, and it's like a very restricted environment and very closed. If you are not very clean, you can get yourself and the people around you very sick very quickly. And yeah, so they remember that medic Rodriguez? She's a Irish Mexican. She came to me one day. She always give me like medication and then try to hang out, and then the guy let her, and so. And then she told me one time that she wants to like to get to know me, and so. And I was laughing. I said, no, 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 I'm not. I'm not the guy. Look, I told her, look, Jean is a good guy. Look, he's very muscular, he's very tall. I said, no, 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 I don't want him. And then me and Stresh were laughing. and so, and I hated cold stuff. So this one time, and I hate also practical jokes, like people like, especially when they're very heavy. One time, I was like, uh, taking a shower. So the shower is inside. So I take a shower in front of the guards. They don't look at me. I assume, but still, it's very humiliating taking a shower when people are around. But I have no choice. So I only put this small thing, and then Stretch always went away, and so didn't pay attention. I never seen him paying attention. There was only this one day when John took ice cold water, and then I was just like in my shower singing alone, and he caught me was surprised. Then he poured this ice cold water on me, and I hated it so much. I said, no, I was very angry. And then he said, yeah, but you like to joke, and so I said, no, but not this type of jokes, and so. And then they were laughing and so at me for days. And then, yeah, what I want to say? Why did I say this story of ice water? And well, he always like this, I said. And he didn't like when I make joke, I think about, him. He was like obsessed with workout. It was always like stress. He always like drank this creatine and like working out. And then I sit down. And then today is leg day. Tomorrow is like stomach day. And bicep, triceps, whatever, even names. That's how I even know about the human body, just by listening to them like talking about working out. So like Stretch was not like extreme, but he was working out. He was doing creatine and stuff, vitamin stuff like that. And but the other guy, like Stretch and like not Stretch. I mean, the Big G and Marine, you could see they're working out because it shows on them. Stretch, nothing. He's just like skinny, and I was like, why do you drink this every day? But nothing changes. I don't know whether he was frustrated with himself, and because I read about it that it's really bad, and then but he told me in uh, moderate doses it's not bad. Um, yeah, and then he was like they were complaining, but he was the only one who understood me because like I always was like try to be very clean, like brush my teeth 5 times a day with every prayer and so, and and then they were like John came up to me and said, "Why you do this? If I was you, I would never do any of this. I would always run naked and so." And also the other interrogator told me the same thing. Said that they make a joke about me behind my back, and they say, "Why should I like clean myself?" And so it's nobody is looking at me anyway. And so uh, that was the gossip behind my back. And so what else? What else? What else? And is there anything? No, well, it's very important to understand like this relationship between us in light of the people around us. You cannot understand Stretch if you don't understand his friends. His closest friends were John and Big G and Chichi. So those were his friends, and and yeah, and this the whole interaction with them. But he was like the cool guy, he was very laid back, you know. All of them were, like kind of. This time, and they were very like he was like he had so much power over the camp. For instance, like Stretch was only a sergeant. So, and the people beneath him were like Jean was a corporal, and the two others were specialists. People who don't understand the army, that is like, you know, so he was the highest rank. And the next was Jean, and the next was Chi Chi and Big G. But Big G and Chi Chi, they were working toward promotion, and they were promoted as far as I remember. But Jean was not promoted because he was even demoted because he was very, very rude to this captain. So, this camp that he was in charge of, that is Eco Special, was what they call classified camp, and only people with special authorization could go inside the camp. They have what they call a raster list. And then this captain came, and then she tried to enter the camp, but they wouldn't allow her to enter the camp. That who spoke with her was like, uh, uh, so like Stretch would be just nice that you cannot, you have to be on the Russell list, but Jean enjoyed this power, that he had. And then she said, like, son, he said, you cannot come in. And then she was like, son, you ain't gonna get in trouble for letting me in. He said, who is talking about trouble or anything? I just said, you cannot come, you cannot come. That's it. End the story. And then she was so upset with him, and then she was yelling, and then she wrote him up. And then me and Amy, and I think also his superior, they wrote like a letter in his support. Even I wrote a letter in his support. And then he was still demoted because they said he could. Yeah, he was right not to let her in, but he could never be rude to a commissioned officer. And but I have to. You have to understand something, that like Stress never broke the rules. So he tried to help me, but he never broke the rules. So like he always like ran everything by my interrogators before he did it, as far as I'm concerned. And he did, it was like very very uh, like I never seen him brazenly like breaking the rules, honestly, to be honest. And he was like very honest, like very honest, as far as I'm concerned. I've seen him interacting with the guard one time. This guy told him so. He said, "I'm not going to lie for nobody." And so, and yeah, he was obsessed with card games. Always like he has always a deck, even when he does nothing. He always like shuffling a deck in his hand, things like that. And I'm signing off for now.